Okay, let's jump into it. Welcome to my mix session, and this is just the beat that I made earlier today, just to show the workflow that sort of goes into when I'm mixing a song as well. It's pretty much the same way, only thing is that's not here is vocals, but I treat the vocals pretty much the same way. So I'll start off with the drums. So I'll have the one bus for all of the drums, so my kick, snare, claps, all of that goes into one bus. And then that usually goes into a separate bus. So let me quickly do that now. So these will all be my instruments. So then those are normally sent to their own bus, which will just be for instrumental. I'll call that beat. And then normally what I then do is I'll take my vocals and my beat, and then I send those to another bus. And that I normally call my 2 bus. And then all of these, the processing would be moved over to there. So they're out of the way. And then on the actual master bus is where I normally have my meters, so my level meter will be there. Where is he at? Where is he at? Where is he at? So on this one, let's see, we've got the drums. Where did the drum start? The drum started at bar 17, so we'll start it like maybe over there. Okay, yeah, nothing hectic happening here. So I've got my kick, that's running through this bad boy here. This is our drum strip, and then on this one I'm just boosting the lows and enhancing the lows just a little bit, and also adding the transient shaper there. Nothing crazy, because the kick itself was already was a nice kick sample, so I don't have to do too much to it. And that's how I treat every session as well. If the source material sounds good already, then I leave it as is, or I just do cleanup work, something like the snare over here. I just put a high pass and then just get rid of those rumbly frequencies that are not really necessary in the clap. And you'll see here I handle my gain staging with my faders here, because what I like to do when I'm mixing, so I'll do all of the heavy lifting stuff first half of my mixing session, and then take a break, come back to it, and then I like to have my faders as close to unity as possible. So what I've done here for the sake of this session is I've got the gain. So normally this fader was at -3, but then I just put the gain plugin just to turn it down and have my faders at unity. So that allows me, if I want to do any automation, I can then just basically write the automation and play, and I know that unity is my sweet spot. So then if I'm doing a boost, I'll just boost and come back to 0 and keep it there. If I'm taking down, take it down, just to make life easier for when I'm mixing and help me speed up in the mixing process. The next, we've got the bass. Bass is just a plug-in bass. I've got that running through a compressor, and then after that compressor we're going through a limiter, taking off some hectic reduction here, like -7 dBs, and then after that we've got the horns. Let's open that segment out. So I've got two trumpets, 2 trombones, and 1 sax. And I use the plugins in mono to sort of simulate recording the instruments itself in mono with one microphone, that going through a space designer, modeling a little room. From there I'm going to my SSL channel strip, and on here, what am I doing on here? Some light compression. Not using the EQ here because the EQ is getting done, I do believe, is it being done here? Or no, not really. Well, that's the tonal compression. And then I've got that running through some tape, and then I've got that, after that it's coming through this isotope vinyl just to dirty it up a bit. And then the plugin itself, because of the character from the 1960s, it puts an EQ curve as well, so getting rid of a bit of the lows and a little bit of the highs, so it's not too shiny. And I called it a day by the looks of things. And then after that I've got my little synth here, my little plink. Reverb and delay is all done in the plugin itself, so I'm setting some delay and a plate reverb, and I've got a chorus on there. And then after that, we've got a piano also. And then all of that goes to my 2-bus, and you'll see on my 2-bus, let's play everything together there. Let's open up the compressor, see how much that's doing. Yeah, see with this one I'm not trying to do too much gain reduction. This is just to glue everything, so I try to stay above, not go more than 4 dBs of gain reduction. And then what I've done here is on the C4 I'm just affecting the low frequencies, so just so that the compressor doesn't pump too much. I did use the high pass filter on, but only just to cut out those super low subs, so that the compressor doesn't start working too hard too soon. And then after that I've got just the L2 just to bring the overall level up, but without the L2 it shouldn't clip. So that's just making sure that I always have headroom, so that my dynamics aren't being too squashed as well for when I go into mastering. And that's about it. So even when there's vocals in there, I always try to keep at least like -3 dBs of headroom, just so that I've got enough room for mastering down the line. And that's my mix section. If you have any questions, be sure to leave that down in the comment sections down below. And like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next.